He's angry, I chose you. Let him stay mad. He texted me again today, not to check in, not to say anything meaningful, just more attitude, more blame, more of that same tone, like I betrayed him, when all I did was make a choice for my own heart, because I'm done explaining myself, done trying to soften the truth, just to make him feel better about the decision he didn't have the courage to make. He had his chance. He had time. He had space. He had all the signals, the quiet signs, the patience I gave him in moments when I should have walked away. But he didn't step up. He didn't fight for me. He didn't move with clarity, with purpose, only hesitation and control. So when I chose you, it wasn't out of revenge. It wasn't to prove a point. It was because you saw me, fully, clearly, without asking me to shrink or stay confused. You never made me feel like I had to earn your attention. You gave it freely, with no games, no mixed signals, no late night apologies, after dry silence. And he couldn't handle that. He couldn't handle seeing me smile. In pictures he's no longer part of. He couldn't handle watching me heal, without his name in the story anymore. So now, he's mad. Sending little jabs, leaving comments that don't sound like much to others, but I know exactly what they mean. He wants me to feel guilty, wants me to question the peace I found, wants me to think maybe I moved on too fast. But you know what? I didn't move on. I woke up, I stopped begging, stopped settling, stopped holding my breath, waiting for someone who never wanted to grow. And baby, when I found you, that breath finally came back. With you I don't have to wonder. I don't have to overthink. I don't have to ask, where do I stand? Because you make it known, without me even having to ask. That's not something I'm letting go of. Not for someone who only wanted me once they saw someone else treating me right. So yeah, he's mad. He's bitter. He's loud in his silence and dramatic in his presence. Let him be. I'm not sorry for choosing peace. I'm not sorry for choosing clarity. I'm not sorry for choosing you. He's angry I chose you. Let him stay mad. The first time I told him it was really over, he didn't believe me. He thought it was another one of those moments I'd eventually walk back from, like before. Like all the other times I said, this isn't working, and then stayed anyway. Because that's how it always went. I'd cry. He'd apologize. Then silence. Then nothing changed. And for a while I played along, because I thought maybe I was asking for too much. Maybe I needed to give it more time. Maybe real love was supposed to feel this unstable, this exhausting. But deep down I knew. Love shouldn't feel like a guessing game. It shouldn't be a cycle of highs and lows, where I'm always holding on tighter than the person I'm holding on to. And then you came along. Not flashy, not trying too hard, just steady. You didn't flood me with promises. You showed up with presence. You didn't try to impress me. You tried to understand me. And in the quiet of that, I felt everything I had been missing. Peace. Security, freedom to speak and not be punished for it. With you, I didn't feel like I was being tolerated. I felt wanted, chosen, respected. That kind of love, it exposes everything that came before it. And when he saw that, saw me smiling again, heard that calm in my voice, saw that I stopped checking for him, he couldn't take it. Suddenly, I was the villain. The cold one. The one who changed. But the truth is, I didn't change. I healed. And healing doesn't look how people expect it to. It's not loud. It's not always proud. It's quiet decisions in the background that lead to loud peace in your heart. So when he throws shade now, when he posts like he's unbothered but keeps watching every move I make, because I've made peace with the truth. Some people aren't mad because you hurt them. They're mad because they lost control. He wasn't angry. when I was breaking. He was angry when I stopped breaking for him. That's when the shift happened. Because I didn't just walk away. I stopped waiting. I stopped waiting for closure, for apologies, for him to grow into the person he kept promising to be. I stopped waiting for love to finally feel like love. And instead, I found it in you. In the way you never made me beg for basics. In the way you were consistent without needing reminders. In the way you saw me as enough, not as a project. That's not something I'll give up. So yes, he's still mad, still bitter, still pretending it didn't hurt him to watch me be loved the way he never could. Let him stay there. Let him sit with the weight of what he lost. Let him feel what it's like to be on the outside looking in, because I've been there. I lived there for too long. Now I've moved on, moved forward, and I'm not looking back. Not even once. The thing no one tells you is how hard it is to walk away from almost. Because that's what he was, an almost the one, almost enough, almost everything I prayed for, except steady. And I held on to that almost for way too long. Because I believed that if I loved him harder, he'd finally love me back in the way I needed. Not just in moments, not just when he felt me slipping away, but all the time. I gave him space, thinking he needed room to grow. I gave him grace, thinking he just needed more time. But while I was making excuses for him, he was using them to stay the same. And I didn't even see how much of myself I was losing until you showed up and asked for nothing. You didn't ask me to be more patient, didn't ask me to lower my voice, shrink my needs, hide my scars. You just sat with all of it and made me feel safe in ways I didn't know I needed. That safety, it did something to me. It made me realize how much I had mistaken emotional chaos for love. Because with him, love always felt like a test I had to pass. If I reacted, I was too much. If I stayed quiet, I was not caring enough. If I brought up how I felt, I was starting something. You never made me earn your kindness. You never punished me for my feelings. You listened, you responded, you chose me back. And when he found out, when he realized he couldn't be the one I called anymore, when he heard your name through mutual friends, saw me out smiling, read between the lines on my posts. That's when the anger started. Suddenly, I was the heartless one. The one who moved on fast. The one who replaced him like he was nothing. But he knows that's not the truth. And I know it too. Because what I did wasn't about moving on quickly. It was about waking up. It was about finally choosing me. After all the times I put myself last, just to keep him comfortable. It was about choosing someone who didn't see me as a backup plan, a placeholder, or a maybe someday, and it wasn't easy. You didn't ask for any of this. You didn't try to compete with ghosts. You just showed up with real love, the kind that heals what someone else broke. So when people ask, is he okay with all this? I don't even blink. Because no, he's not okay. He's angry. I chose you. Let him stay mad. Lately I've been thinking about how many times I silenced myself for him. How many moments I swallowed my feelings just to keep the peace. How often I laughed through the pain just to keep things from falling apart. Because every time I tried to express what I needed, he acted like I was asking for too much. Too much attention, too much honesty, too much effort. And I believed him. I believed I was hard to love, that maybe I needed to tone it down, dim my light, lower my expectations, just to be someone he could handle. But what he really meant was he couldn't handle someone who knew her worth. Because a woman who knows her worth asks real questions, sets real boundaries, wants real love, not just late night promises. Not just soft apologies after loud silence. Not just half-hearted check-ins when guilt starts to creep in. And when I stopped shrinking for him, when I finally said I deserve more than this, he didn't fight for me. He just let me walk away until he realized someone else saw in me what he had ignored for so long. Someone who didn't need me to tone it down. Because you match me. Because you listen without defense. Because you show up without being reminded. That's when the jealousy started. The attitude. I just don't get what you see in him. Comments. But it's not about what I see in you. It's about what I finally saw in myself. And I'll never unsee that now. He had years to understand me, and didn't. You had weeks, and did. He made me feel like I was too intense. You made me feel like I was finally hurt. And I'll never go back to pretending confusion is passion. To convincing myself that emotional distance is just how he loves. No, love isn't supposed to feel like a maze. It's supposed to feel like clarity. And you gave me that. He's angry because he lost something good. But the truth is, he never held it right in the first place. I was always there, loving fully, fighting gently, believing in what we could be, not what we really were. But now, I'm done with potential. I'm living in the present, with a man who shows up, who listens, who doesn't make me wonder where I stand, because he reminds me every single day. And to be honest, it's not my job to help my ex process what he lost. It's not my responsibility to explain why peace feels like betrayal to him. He can stay mad. He can stay bitter. He can keep convincing himself that I switched up. But I didn't switch up. I grew up. I outgrew the version of myself that begged for bare minimum and called it love. So now when his name pops up in conversation, when people say he still talks about me, still watches my stories, still throws little jabs, I just smile. Because deep down, I know